Well, today it's a beautiful spring day. We're getting to the end of April and the dandelions have started to pop out. Now, around this place we love dandelion jelly. Case in point, this is our last jar. Now we've been conserving this, or preserving it, conserving it, saving it, because we didn't want to run out. And we wanted to make sure that we were going to get more made for this year. So the kids and I are about to head out to pick some of these dandelions, and we'll show you how we make dandelion jelly.
We're making dandelion jelly.
And do you like dandelion jelly?
Yep. I used that first one. Lots of times I used it to make jelly sandwiches.
So what are you doing with that dandelion?
I'm going to pick off all the petals.
Yeah.
Little petals. So my hand's going to get all yellow.
That's right, it is going to get all yellow. But anyways, this is an 8-cup measuring jar. For each recipe, each batch, you're going to need about 4 cups of just the petals. So this is quite a tedious and time-consuming job, but a great job if you have kids.
So you're saying that you want the kids to labor for this?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wink, wink.
Keep you out of trouble. The kids are hard at work.
Well, not that hard.
Not that hard. It's just finicky. The important thing with this is to make sure that you're picking off. We're going to just show it here. Alex is kind of... You only want the yellow. The green can be quite bitter. If you do get a little bit of green in, it's not the end of the world. It's just kind of the more green you have in this, the more bitter it will taste. So what do you think it tastes like?
It tastes like, I'm not sure how to say it, but it sort of tastes pollen-y.
Kind of like honey?
Yeah, it reminds me of honey, and it just tastes very sweet and good.
Yeah. So the recipe does have a little bit of lemon juice in it as well, which does give a bit of a lemony flavor. But we'll put the recipe below here in the description on the video, so that if anybody wants to give it a try, they can.
I have a present for you, Mom.
You do? I bet it's dandelions. It is dandelions! Look at that beautiful dandelion bouquet. Seems a shame to pluck all the petals out.
I know.
But it's going to taste good.
Yeah.
We're about to go for a walk and see if we can find more dandelions. We've exhausted everything in the front yard and around the house, and we've only made it to 2.5 cups. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah.
Kind of looks like we hit a dandelion jackpot here.
I think I'm ready.
You ready? Look at all those nice big ones.
My bin.
Alex is the bin carrier. So we've got a few more up here in one of the pastures. So we're going to just kind of pick a few more here. Hopefully that'll give us enough to get to making a double batch of dandelion jelly. Who'd have thought it'd be this hard to find dandelions? We picked all these nice big poofy open ones because the open ones are so much easier to get the petals out of. And they are closing. So it's becoming a lot more time consuming and tedious to pick out these petals and not get the greens. So definitely a learning curve for us that we're better off.
Mass amount.
Yeah, we're better off to take the petals out as we pick, eh guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're back in the house, and kids and I worked our bums off picking dandelions. I think we picked most of the dandelions in the on the property that were up close anyways. We did fall a little bit short of the 8 cups, but all in all, not too bad. Here's the 8-cup line. We're just shy. We're gonna go with it. That's fine. What you need now is 8 cups of boiling water. Sorry, I should say another reminder. I'm doubling this recipe. Normally I would do 4 cups of blossoms, 4 cups of water, but because I want to double it to show you both versions of powdered pectin or liquid pectin, we are doing 8 cups of blossoms, 8 cups of water. So you need to bring this water to a boil, pour it over your blossoms, and then we're going to let that steep overnight to make our dandelion tea. Okay, so we are the next morning, and our petals have sat overnight steeping to make our dandelion tea. So we're now going to just pop that through the cheesecloth and strainer and let it drain while I go do chores. You want to kind of let it drain out for probably a couple hours. You don't want to press the petals. That's the thing. You just want to let it naturally drain. I have my plastic cheesecloth that I use for making cheese in my press. It's got a very fine weave, so this works out actually perfect for straining this sort of thing. So Alex, my trusty helper here, is going to scoop ladle into our colander. It is time to make our jelly. We have the tea ready. We got just about 8 cups of liquid, which is great because we need 3.5 cups for one batch and 4 for another. So that's fantastic to have that much. We have our jars ready, cleaned up to go into our oven to sterilize. And our lids are in our pot, ready to be boiled. We've got our liquid, pot to make it, and big pot for water canning. You will need basically 4 ingredients for this recipe: your dandelion tea, some type of pectin, sugar, and lemon juice. Today we're going to try doing 2 separate batches. We're going to do one batch that is made with our powdered pectin and one that's made with liquid. Now they are quite different in the sense that the liquid pectin involves a lot more sugar. We're going to make both today so that you've got the recipe for either option. Another thing that you could add to those 4 ingredients is yellow food coloring. I usually wait until the end to see what sort of look we've got. I did add it last time because it made it look really pretty for gifts and things like that. But we'll come back to that in a moment. I'm going to get organized here and then we'll bring you back. On the bottom there's a little bit of sediment from the dandelion, basically some of the pollen. So we are going to try not to get that if we can help it. So like I said, our first batch we're going to do is our powdered pectin. So in our pot we've got our 3.5 cups of dandelion tea, 1 package of powdered pectin, and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And what we're going to do is bring this to a boil on kind of a medium heat. I don't want it to go too quickly because I am waiting for my jars to sterilize. I use the oven baking method. I've got my oven set at 225 and those jars need to be in there for about 12 minutes. So we've got about 6 minutes left. My lids are almost boiling and we will get this canned up pretty quick. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to add our 4 cups of sugar. Then we're going to let it boil for 2 minutes. And then we're going to jar. It's kind of that bit of a murky yellow-green color. I added 4 drops of yellow food coloring to this just to kind of brighten it up. Basically, you would end up with a little bit of a greener jelly if you didn't add it. But it's not required. I just like it because it looks a little bit more sunshiny. But we have our 4 cups of sugar. We're going to stir this around. So we're going to just get this all blended in here and bring it back to a boil. And this is going to boil for 2 minutes. Basically, your pectin packet says 1 minute. I prefer to do 2 minutes so that I know that it's hit a real hard boil. Hard boil to me is when it no longer stops poofing up because you're stirring. As I'm stirring this to get it back to a boil after adding the sugar, I do have to say that the air smells like honey, and that is what I would say dandelion jelly tastes like. Definitely a honey color and a honey smell in the air. We have hit our hard boil, so I'm going to start my count here. When I'm stirring that, it's not stirring down. That hard boil is staying. You can also skim a little bit off the top. I don't ever really worry about it, but if you get a lot of, I guess you could call it sludge, you can see that there. You can skim that off. Give a little bit of a wipe of that rim. Our lid, I just took it out of the boiling water. On it goes. This is very hot, so be careful. We ended up with 5 half-pint jars from our powdered pectin batch. Plus, it's already starting to set. We actually had a nice little bit that we're going to have for lunch. So now, we're going to pop these into our water bath canner. They need to be in the canner for 10 minutes. And we're going to get the liquid pectin batch ready and boiling and jarred while these are cooking away. We're going to put them right in. Sorry about the steam. And if the water you want the water to be kind of ½ inch or so over top of these jars. So, because I have so few, I'm going to have to add a bit more water in. But you want this to be at a boil before you start counting your 10 minutes. So we're going to add water and get that sorted out. The big difference between the powdered pectin and the liquid pectin is sugar content, really. We were 3.5 cups of liquid of the Dandelion Tea on the powdered pectin. With the liquid pectin, you're going to be 4 cups of the tea. Then you're going to still be the 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, but you're going to need 7 cups of sugar with 2 packets of the liquid pectin. I have not actually tried reducing the sugar to see if it still works. You could try that. If you have tried it, definitely leave a comment. Let me know how it worked. Because with liquid pectin, you're going to put the sugar, the tea, and the lemon juice all in the pot first and bring that to a boil. You want this to come to a hard boil, as we showed earlier in the video, for about a minute before you add your liquid pectin. Once you add your pectin, I usually let it stay at that boil for just a second, and then I turn it off the heat, remove it completely from the heat, and you're going to stir that for about 5 minutes, and then jar. It's that easy. There is our haul for this double batch here of Dandelion Jelly. We got 5 jars. These are the half-pint jars, or 1 cup basically, from the powdered pectin recipe. And we got 8.5 of the jars, 8.5 cups of the jelly from the liquid pectin recipe. We are to taste test time. We have our 2 different kinds. Oh, I can't get it out here. Whoop, as I lose it on the table, that sort of sucks. Gotta leave enough for Chris too. So our orange container was the liquid pectin version, which, as you will recall, was mostly sugar. And our glass container was our powdered pectin. So we're going to try. Let's try the liquid one first. No pressure. Okay. Very, very sweet and honey tasting. Now this is our powdered one. Way fruitier tasting. You really taste the lemon juice that went into that. I would have to say, from a perspective of what I like better, I like the fruitier tasting one because it's jam. The other one's just kind of a sweet taste, where the powdered pectin produced a nicer, flavorful jelly. So my vote is for the powdered pectin, but I will put both recipes in the description below, and you can make up your own mind.